Hello, everybody. This is Greg Trainer with Wyndham-Lyons Realty Services, and we are talking today about the biggest mistake that you can make when getting a divorce and trying to move on in your life by purchasing a new home, selling or refinancing that home. I'm joined today by Sarah Setters, our Northern Kentucky real estate expert and real estate agent, as well as Tom McNamara, who is with Caliber Home Loans, who is our expert lender who can help guide and is part of our team to make sure that if you are getting a divorce or somebody that you know is, that they are pointed in the right direction. I think today what I want to start off with is just dive into it and talk about what is that biggest mistake that you can make when you're preparing for divorce. And divorce just doesn't happen. Divorce is prepared for. Sometimes we focus on the things, the bigger details, the emotional portion of it, and forget about some of these things that really make it difficult to move on in life and bookend that chapter. So, Sarah, I know you work extensively with folks that are buying and selling and happen to be in the midst or after a divorce. What is that issue that we see that keeps people from moving on in their life?
A lot of it has to do with those little surprises that pop up. Not every divorce is going to be, bumpy and rocky, and not all divorces are going to be smooth and everybody comes to terms on everything. But you have those certain situations where, one may open up a credit card, max it out in the other person's name. And there are many little things that people don't think to look into before they do start moving forward.
Right. I think we've all had that situation where somebody is either in the midst of starting that home search, because when you get a divorce and you own a home, somebody is going to stay in the home. Somebody's going to buy a new home. They may sell it and split the proceeds of that home. But what we see, like Sarah said, is those little things that pop up, a credit card that was put into your name that you had no clue about. Maybe there's some debt that is on the home, let's say a mortgage, and the judge says that one spouse can keep the property and they're responsible for the mortgage payment from this point forward. And that's where I'll kind of let Tom talk, because he's part of that with the mortgage side of the industry. But they think just because a judge says that one spouse has to pay the mortgage, that they're not liable for it anymore. So that pops up, and all of a sudden we're not able to move forward, and that person's not able to move forward with their home search or buying a new home. So Tom, what you see, you had mentioned that in lots of our previous conversations about how do we start this process? I mean, we start this process, I think, with you, and we get the team together, and I hand them off to Tom, who's going to the first thing that you do with a client is what?
Pull the credit report.
Right.
When you pull the credit report, it tells the story. It tells what kind of loan it is. You really can't have two FHA loans, or if it's a VA loan, someone has the entitlement, you have to free that up by a refinance, or there's so many outside things that can come in, but the credit report kind of sets the stage for the story, and it gives us options of what we can and cannot do. So that's the first thing you should do, is just pull the credit.
Right. And we work extensively with some of the best divorce attorneys across the greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky area. And those folks really know what they're doing, and they surround themselves with teams like us that will start with Tom, get the credit pulled. Let's look at your credit picture. Let's find out if there's a credit card that your spouse put you on, or some type of debt. Many divorces, I think most of them, by stats, are because one spouse, or it's because of financial issues. There's some, a spouse may be financially irresponsible and wasn't paying on those credit cards or the mortgages or the car payments or installments on time. And that's where Tom can come in as that first line of defense, not only for the attorney to rely on to say, okay, this is what our credit picture looks like, but also find some of those things that I had a client that we started the home search process and found out that there was a lingerie credit card that was in her name, but she had never received any of that lingerie. So she ended up having to pay that off before she could move forward. And if that were known up front with the attorney that was handling the divorce, that they could have not only used that in court, I believe, to advantage themselves, but also we could have gotten that taken care of before this person had to eventually get a 6-month lease and not be able to purchase a home and get all these things cleared up. So, Tommy, if you do have situations where you find those issues, that maybe there's credit on there that's late or credit that's not, shouldn't have been there at all,
Right.
are you able to reconstruct or help guide them to places or give suggestions to how they can improve that credit to get there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's say by chance they have an FHA loan, and the person that's going to stay in the house, either the husband or the wife, if they can start, and one of the very first things I would do is get your own checking account, your own savings account. And if they start making payments to that lender out of their own account, and I can show 6 payments from their name only, FHA loans are assumable. They may be able just to go to their current lender and just do a simple assumption, a $500 or a $250 fee, and assume that loan and make it simple. A lot of people think they sign a quick claim deed and that debt is out of their name.
Right.
That debt's not out of their name until they either refinance that or sell that house.
Right.
And then what that does, that pulls that payment out of the exiting partner's name so they could go on with their life.
Right. That most every time we start this initial consultation with our clients, if they have not come to us prior to sitting down with their attorney or in coordination with that attorney sending them to us, we hear a lot of the folks afterwards say, the judge told me that I didn't have to pay, that my spouse had to pay this debt, and or like Tom said, they gave a quick claim deed. I want to make sure everybody's super clear on this. Number one, I'm not an attorney, but I know from past experience and what happens in these situations. Just because a judge says you don't owe it doesn't mean that creditor has to abide by that. That just means that if your other spouse doesn't pay, you're going to have to do some legal gyrations to try to force it, but it doesn't prevent your credit from getting wrecked. It doesn't prevent you from having those debts counted against you on your debt to income ratios, and
Right.
proof that those things can get off of your credit. So that's part of when Tom sits down with our clients or our referral clients from our attorneys, we get that financial picture. The next step for us is we sit down, and Sarah, I know we don't just represent the buyers, we represent in situations where it sells. So the first step in that is really getting a good idea and then a fair idea of what the property is worth if somebody needs that. So that's part of what you do, correct? If they're going to sell the house?
Yeah, definitely. And, being as fair as you can with all parties, the more information they're empowered with, the easier it's going to be for everybody involved.
Right. And we have to be, when we give those property valuations, we're not trying to slant or skew or protect one spouse over the other. We're giving a full market value at that time period, so they can, like Sarah said, they're well informed. They can take those to their attorneys and do with what they please with that, but at least they'll have an honest assessment of what that property is worth, so they can decide, do you want to keep it? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to split the proceeds, or whatever that equity is positioned in that property? They can decide what to do with that once it's disposed of. So if you're an attorney in the greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area, and you want to enhance your services, I know I had mentioned earlier, we work with some great real estate attorneys in the area and divorce attorneys, I apologize, in the area who trust us and use us as their team to enhance their services. If you want to get a hold of us to talk about how we can help you as an attorney and your firm enhance your services and assure that your clients are able to move on and make you guys look better, how do we get a hold of you guys? Sarah, how would somebody get a hold of you?
So they could reach out, either call or text. My phone number is 859-547-8735, or they could reach out via email. And my email is ssetters, SETTERS, at wyndhamlyons.com.
Great. And Tom?
Best way to reach me is my cell phone. It's 859-468-LOAN. It's 5626. Or you can get on my website, and it has an email and an application there. It's www.tmaclens.com.
Great. So whether you are in the midst of divorce, which we can help you, like I said, we work with a lot of great attorneys that we can refer you to, but give us a call. Let us help you. If you're an attorney, give us a call too. My name's Greg Trainer. I'm with Wyndham-Lyons Realty Services, and the best way to get a hold of us here is giving us a call on our team line, which is 513-468-1911. Or visit us on www.wyndhamlyons.com. Again, thank you very much, both of you. I know you provide a great service to all of our clients, and our specialization with our divorce clients to help them out and make sure that their lives can move on in a great manner. So we'll look forward to talking to you guys again next week and helping more clients.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.